Monserrate is also, this is the second year that we've been working with them, and probably one of our neatest places that we get to work with. Mike and I actually got to visit in August, and so this particular community, there's 59 farmers and their families that make up the village of Monserrate. So maybe literally 300 people live on top of this ridge, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And they've been farming coffee for a long time, generations, and in the 90s, coffee market crashed, and they were left with all this coffee with no value. Didn't know what to do, and there's a lot of other things to grow in Colombia, and one of them is illegal drugs. So these people are not, bad people by any means. They're just looking for a means to survive. So they planted anything that could make them money, and one of them was, coca and poppy seeds, things like that. And they knew that's not where they wanted to be. They knew they needed help to get out of that. They were dealing with bad people and they were scared for their lives. So they searched out an importer that we work with and also an exporter asking for help, saying, what can we do? And with that started a relationship to improve quality, to raise the prices of their coffee so they could sustain without the other stuff. And over the last 5 years, they've gone from like a base level to producing some of the best coffee in Colombia, one of our best coffees we offer. So it's pretty exciting. And Mike and I went down there, and we actually judged a competition between all 59 families. So they all basically had a friendly competition and to which family produced the best coffee, pretty much. So we literally went down there and judged all 59 lots and cupped them side by side, scored them, and then once we found out what the top 10 were, we separated out the top 10, judged them again, and then the top 5 were actually sold as micro lots with big quality premiums, and the rest were all blended together. And if they scored a certain point, which was like an 84-point scale, coffee scored on a scale from 0 to 100. So if it scored above an 84, everyone would receive a percentage increase, basically, and it did. So we bought 2 of the top 5 lots, but also a lot of the community blend, and the community blend, I believe, was 50% over fair trade prices, I think, yeah. And then it's on there. But an additional 15% for the competition lots.
Basically, the #1 micro lot coffee is guaranteed 84% of fair trade minimum, so almost double.
Yeah. So this, and on top of that, the people that we met there were pretty amazing, and as you can tell by the picture, it's one of the most beautiful places I think we've ever been. So it's a pretty unique trip. And so this past February, I was invited to go to Ethiopia for about a week. And Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee, so it's kind of exciting and a unique place definitely to be able to visit. And basically, they kind of had some laws change this past year that changed the way all coffee was bought and sold in the country. And so some of the higher-end coffees that were being processed by private mills could no longer be sold directly to roasters. So that upset a lot of people in our part of the industry because we're after that specific type of coffee. But in reality, it didn't affect a very high percentage number of the actual farmers. So they basically restructured it to try to lift up the bottom of all farmers in Ethiopia. One thing that they kind of left a loophole in the system is cooperatives, and there's quite a few in Ethiopia, can work directly still with roasters like us. So specifically, we went down there with a group of about 15 other roasters in the U.S. to visit cooperatives in 2 of the main growing regions down there to start relationships. And we visited probably with over 25 co-ops in 5 or 6 days. And what was unique was we actually sample roasted and cupped the coffee right there with the farmers. And it sounds pretty simple and easy, but most of these farmers had never seen anything like that in their lives. They'd never seen their coffee roasted like we do when we get it, and then actually cupped and tasted with them. And we had translators, and we actually gave immediate feedback to these farmers. And what was pretty neat is we found some exceptional coffees, we found some good coffees, we found bad coffees, and to be able to give feedback to farmers immediately. And we could even pinpoint reasons why maybe a coffee turned out badly, and we could taste it. It might have been fermented wrong, that kind of thing, and we could taste that in the coffee. And then we talked to them, and sure enough, some of their equipment wasn't working right. Instead of trying to fix it they went on, kept going, and in turn might have ruined their crop for 1 year, but they've learned a lot from that. And this was the first time a lot of these farmers have ever been able to be a part of something like that. So it's pretty unique. And we're trying to start a relationship with a co-op called Koke, which is in Jurgishefe. We bought coffee from them last year. In the picture on your right, that's me with a few of their members and their co-op president. And it's pretty neat to be able to meet somebody over there. We actually purchased coffee from them last year. And for them to meet a roaster that purchased their coffee last year meant like the world, because they'd never met anyone like that before. So it's very neat, and because of that, they're able to see that, you know, we are interested in helping them improve their quality and making this a long-term relationship with the goal of, you know, raising them up and paying them more. This coffee, though we've known about it for a while, an intern we had a few years ago, Felipe, this is actually his family's farm. It's been in his family farm since late 1800s. So it's a long tradition of growing coffee for sure. And what's neat about it is they're very dedicated to sustainability and organic, so they're really a model for sustainability and organic. They do a lot of things that are totally unique anywhere in the world as far as that goes. And really what they've done, FAF actually stands for Environmental Fortress Farm, and it's not just their farm, but they have like 10 neighboring farms. They are kind of under that FAF umbrella, and they help them basically produce organic coffee and do it well and manage it and help them export it. So the lot we actually bought was only 16 bags of 60 kilo bags of coffee, which is not that much, but that's about half of what they produced this year. And it's some of the best tasting Brazilian coffee we've ever had, and very unique. We paid over 75%, I think, 78% over the fair trade minimum for this coffee. So I mean, these people aren't producing very much, but it's at such a high quality that, again, it's quality over quantity with a lot of these farmers, and they're definitely realizing that. So it's very unique.
It's interesting to compare this Brazilian coffee to Ethiopian coffee. This Brazilian operation at FAF, these farmers definitely know what they're doing. This is they've been doing a good job for a number of years, and they've really gotten to kind of that ideal place where they understand their quality, they understand how to process their coffee, they understand how to market themselves. They've created a brand for themselves. And this is kind of the goal that we'd see, want to get, you know, all these relationship farms to. And then when you go to Ethiopia, they're on the kind of complete other end of the spectrum, is that they still have no farm management for the most part. They don't understand the value of quality yet. Yet, coffees in Ethiopia, for the most part, score on a point scale much higher than Brazilian coffees. The environment for growing coffee in Ethiopia is near perfect. I mean, coffee grows wild in Ethiopia. So the taste we get from Ethiopia, with the knowledge of knowing that they have so much improvement that could happen, is a little overwhelming and exciting as a coffee lover. Because if we can start to work with farms to get them to a place like Brazil FAF, the potential for quality in a cup is just outstanding. It's exciting, and that's, for me, that's one of the things that really keeps me focused on programs like Relationship Coffees, and really trying to sell these coffees to our customers. Because it's through these efforts that I think we really are going to see, one, better tasting coffee, and two, a supply chain that is knowledgeable and is kind of sophisticated and able to be mobile and really create sustainability. Any questions on any of that? These are our relationship coffees so far. Hopefully many more to come, lasting for many years. Any questions on any sort of sourcing, fair trade? Why should I drink this? Anything like that? It's Tyler's birthday. Well, keep looking for these coffees. Coffee bar is just down the way. We've got free samples in the back. We have some of the Colombia Monserrate brewed right now. That's that's the coffee right now that's in season out of our relationship coffees. You're just going to miss the Brazil because of summer break. I apologize, and it won't be gone by the time you come back. But if you need a Kaldis fix, we can help you find it in the summer too.